I rode north on the Rock Creek Trail and I found this little patch of standing water. It's quite different than the creek that I took water from before. I wonder, if I grab a sample of water from here and put it under the microscope, will I see similar living things that I saw in the creek samples? Will we see more or fewer? Time to find out.
Look at this really active creature. This is called a rotifer. If you look closely at it as it moves around, you might notice that it has a forked tail. It seems to be using that forked tail to cling to this little chunk of algae. You can even see through its body to its insides, which is pretty cool. This is one example out of many, many rotifers that I was able to observe in this pond water sample. We've seen these guys in Edna's tank before, too. Pretty cool. Elsewhere in our sample, we have this little grayish oval swimming around. Something else which I thought was notable here was the strange zigzaggy-like structure of that plant material there. Now, when I drew the sample, that plant material just looked like green slime, almost like pond scum, I guess you'd call it, but under the microscope, it looks really interesting. Here we have a diatom. Those yellowish-brownish rectangles there help it do photosynthesis, which transforms sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water into chemical energy and oxygen. This is the larva of something called a copepod. It has 6 legs, which you can barely see, and it has one single bright red eye. Very cool. You can see all these things more clearly in this up-close image. I saw a couple of other interesting things in this pond water sample, including this round colony of algae and this really interesting chain-like structure. Let's compare our creek samples, which are up top, and the pond samples, which are down below. In the creek we found tons of diatoms, that big larva, but really not much else. While in the pond we had rotifers, some diatoms, and that cool copepod larva. So we found diatoms in both of these habitats, but we only found rotifers and copepods in the pond. What might explain that? Give that question a think. If you've got a response or a reaction, email me or comment on the Padlet. And as always, if you've got an idea for what I should put under my microscope next, let me know. See you next time.